So, if you've been following the AI space this week, you might have noticed things felt a little different. What looked like a bunch of random updates was actually something else entirely. We're talking about calculated, strategic moves in what is quickly becoming a full blown AI Cold War between two absolute giants, OpenAI and Anthropic. And we are going to break down every single move. And, this rivalry didn't just stay in the boardroom. It exploded into the public view in the biggest way possible. This quote, it just says it all, right? This is the moment the gloves really came off, and this tech battle became primetime entertainment. All right, so here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll hit that Super Bowl drama. Then we're going to unpack Anthropic's huge software play and see OpenAI's pretty radical hardware response. After that, we dive into the nitty-gritty of their software battle, and we'll wrap it all up by looking at the two very different AI futures they're trying to build. Okay, let's start at the flashpoint, the Super Bowl. I mean, you can't get a bigger stage than that. This is where this behind-the-scenes competition went loud, public, and yeah, pretty personal, in front of millions of us. Okay, so check this out. This wasn't some subtle jab. Anthropic took a direct shot. They ran these clever, witty ads basically mocking OpenAI for planning to put ads in ChatGPT. The tagline was just brutal. Ads are coming to AI, but not to Claude. And Sam Altman didn't just ignore it. Oh no, he fired back with a whole 400-word essay calling the ads dishonest and defending their move. This wasn't a press release. This was a public fight. But you know what? Those Super Bowl ads, that was just the opening act. The real move, the big strategic play from Anthropic, was a direct assault, not just on OpenAI, but on, well, the entire professional software market. And this is where things get really, really interesting. And if you want to see the impact, just look at this number, $285 billion. That's how much value just, poof, vanished from other software companies right after Anthropic made their announcement. Wall Street got the message loud and clear. This wasn't just a slightly better chatbot. This was a potential extinction event for a lot of existing business models. So what's the secret sauce? It's this new tech they're calling co-work plugins. And let's be clear, this is a whole different ballgame. We're not talking about asking an AI for some ideas anymore. This is about turning Claude into a digital employee. You basically give it a job, marketing, finance, you name it, and it instantly gets the skills and the access to tools like Slack or Canva to actually do that job. So let me walk you through what this actually looks like. Instead of spending hours brainstorming, you just type a command, like campaign planning. The AI then asks you a couple of smart questions, who's your audience? What's the budget? Then it just goes to work. It does the research, it builds the strategy, and a few minutes later, boom, a finished 12-slide PowerPoint deck lands on your desk. That's not a helper, people. That's a replacement for hours and hours of work. And of course, none of this works without some serious muscle under the hood. The new model Claude Opus 4.6 is an absolute beast. It's smashing OpenAI's latest model in complex tasks, beating it by 144 ELO points, which is a huge gap in a chess-like rating system. It's also setting new records for coding. And then there's this, the 1 million token context window. That is just massive. It means you can feed it an entire software code base or a whole library of legal documents, all at once. So Anthropic launches this all-out software assault. How does OpenAI respond? Well, they don't just launch a competing feature. They try to change the game entirely. Their big bet isn't just on better software. It's on new hardware that lets them bypass the screen completely. And this really shows you their whole strategy. Think about it. Right now, to use AI's got to pull out your phone, open an app, type something in. You're living in Apple and Google's world. OpenAI's vision? To just leapfrog all of that. No phone, no app, no typing. Just a little device maybe behind your ear and your voice. That's it. Now, this is where it gets kind of wild. The rumors around this thing, codenamed Sweet Pea, are fascinating. It's supposedly a voice-only device that sits behind your ear. And get this, it's being designed by Jony Ive. Yeah, the guy who designed the iPhone. Now, OpenAI is officially denying it, but, there are a lot of reports and even patents that suggest this is very, very real. And just in case you think this is some small niche experiment, get a load of this number. The target for the first year of production is between 40 and 50 million units. Let me say that again, 40 to 50 million. That's not a test run. That's a full-scale invasion. They're not just trying to build a new AI gadget. They're trying to build the next major computing platform. Okay, so that hardware future, that's the long game. But let's bring it back to today.
Right now, the war is still very much being fought in software. And the key battleground? It's the fight for developers. And what's so fascinating here is you can see two totally different philosophies at work. Anthropic is betting everything on one single, super powerful model with that giant memory. OpenAI, on the other hand, is trying a different approach with multiple smaller AI agents that work together. And you want to talk about competition? OpenAI released its update minutes after Anthropic's. That's not a coincidence, folks. That's a direct head-to-head fight.
So let's just take a step back and put all the pieces together. You've got the ads, you've got the workspace software, you've got the hardware ambitions. You start to realize this isn't just about which company has the better tech. These are two fundamentally different visions for how we're all going to live with AI. And it really comes down to this. In Anthropic's future, AI becomes the ultimate workspace tool. It goes deeper and deeper into the software you already use, aiming to replace all those expensive apps you pay for every month. But in OpenAI's future, AI is an ambient device. It wants to get out of your computer entirely and create a new, always-on, voice-first layer to your life. One wants to own your workflow, the other wants to own your entire interface with the world. So here's the bottom line. These two paths are splitting, and they're splitting fast. It's a future with a super smart assistant living inside your computer versus a future with a constant AI companion living in your ear. The question isn't just about which company is going to win this war. The real question is, which one of these futures are you going to choose?